voice of Nassau Community College.
A 2019 Marconi Award finalist from the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is 90.3 WHPC.
WHPC HD Garden City.
Available anytime on your smart speaker.
And anywhere on iHeartRadio.
Welcome to another edition of From the Press Box, right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College, and From the Press Box is part of the Sports Talk family. We're here every Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., then Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., regular Sports Talk happens, and then more Sports Talk, 10 p.m. to 12 midnight every Tuesday. So lots of sports here at WHPC. If you want to talk about what's going on in the world of sports, give us a call, 516-572-7440. In about a half hour from now, we will have Jets beat writer for Forbes.com, JP Pelzman, to talk about the great season the Jets are having so far, because, you know something, they're having a great season.
No, he won't be talking about that.
No, we're not.
Let's not lie to the people, because the Jets are not having a great season.
No, they're not.
JP knows more than to say that they are.
Well, we'll ask him about it. We'll be the ones laughing. He has to cover it. He gets paid, though, so there's a difference. So anyway, brother, let's start out with the big story right now in New York sports, and that would be not the Giants, not the Jets, but the Yankees.
But your New York Yankees.
My New York Yankees, yes, of course. So, the ALDS is a 3 out of 5. The Yankees have already got 2 wins over the Yankees.
Over the Twins.
I'm sorry, the Twins.
The Yankees don't beat themselves, brother.
Well, they maybe they could have at one point, but not this year. They played very well. We know that. Anyway, brother, but the Twins have a good team, you know?
Very good team. I said it last week. I was worried about the Twins because if nothing else, the Twins hit. They hit a major league record 307 home runs this year, and the Yankees, of course, had 306. But these are 2 of the best offenses in the game.
Yes.
The other one being the Houston Astros, who more than likely will be the opponent in the American League Championship Series. And notice I said the opponent. I'm not saying for whom yet. But the Astros are up on the Tampa Bay Rays 2-0, and that series is going back to Tampa.
Right.
So the Yankees. I've been impressed. Let's put it that way. The pitching has been better than I expected from the Yankee side of things. The bats have been there, and the pitching has been able to negate the Twins' power. The Twins had 3 solo home runs in the first game, which, hey, I'm fine with that. Hit all the solo home runs you want.
Yeah, solo is always better than
solo
home
runs are fine with me. Be my guest. Hit 3 or 4 of them if you want, because Didi Gregorius on Saturday hit a grand slam, and that just opened things up.
Right.
That turned a game that had all the potential to be close into a rout immediately. It was 8-0 in the third inning, and I'm watching the game, and I'm like, this game might be over. But then I'm thinking, the Twins.
You can't think that.
It's
not
hit,
in the playoffs.
It's hit, walk, home run, and you're back in the game.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of offense they have. Everybody in their lineup can hit home runs. They have guys you've never heard of who hit more than 30 home runs this year. Now, granted, a lot of guys in Major League Baseball hit 30 home runs this year, at least, but up and down the lineup, they have power everywhere. So no lead is safe. And I go back to a game that they played middle of the season, June or July. I think it was July.
Right.
Where late in the game, the Yankees were leading 14-12. And I forget who it was. It might have been Max Kepler. Hit a ball to dead center field. Aaron Hicks on his horse and had to dive towards the fence. How many times do you see an outfielder dive towards the fence?
Never.
Because that's how much ground he had to cover. Aaron Hicks makes that catch, and the Yankees win. And that was with the bases loaded. So the Twins would have won the game 15-14 if Aaron Hicks doesn't make that catch. That's the kind of offense the Twins have. So I'm not going to sit here and take it for granted like Twins teams of the past, because the Yankees have beaten the Twins something like 12 games in a row in the postseason.
Right.
But I'm not taking it for granted because
this
team is explosive.
This team is a very good team. Their manager might be manager of the year.
I got to be honest. I'm giving it to Boone. I know you're going to say I'm biased, but look at all the injuries.
No,
the Yankees have.
I think it's Aaron Boone too. But the only other person I can think of,
Rocco Baldelli,
would be Rocco. So, it's
gotta love Rocco. Gotta love anybody named Rocco.
Yeah, AJ Ben's a name. Just get Rocco.
That's right. Rocco. I tell you what, AJ's kid, he's fast. He got mom's speed. Mom was she was like a sprinter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a state champion kind of sprinter. And Rocco can move. But anyway, no tangents. I like where the Yankees are right now, though. Paxton gave him 4 2/3. They didn't want him going through the lineup again. Nelson Cruz was coming up, so they took him out and avoided any potential disaster in Game 1, and then started scoring runs. Game 2, Tanaka was great for 5 innings, and then the bullpen came in. They were able to give an inning to Tyler Lyons and Jonathan Loisiga, or as I like to call him, Johnny Lasagna, because it's easier to pronounce. But that's 2 innings that you give your rest of your bullpen an inning off. Plus, they had yesterday off completely, so the bullpen is pretty much rested, which is a great thing going into tonight. Because you don't know how many innings Severino's going to be able to give you. They'll probably give him 80 or 90 pitches because he's still a bit of a work in progress. He's only had 3 starts this year after 5.5 months out with the shoulder and the lat and whatever else was going on.
Right.
But he's only had 3 starts. His ERA is 1.5 in those starts, which is outstanding. But let's see what Severino is going to be able to do. And Severino's got a little bit of an up and down history in the postseason. We're still not sure if he's a postseason performer or if he's a guy who is going to get, maybe feel the moment a little bit. It'll be interesting to see. But it's kind of also tough to judge because this is the 4th start he's making this season.
Yeah, I mean.
So,
and what about CeCe? Do you think he's going to be if the Yankees move past the Twins? Is going to
I think he'll be on there. I was surprised to see like Tyler Lyons on the postseason roster, and the same for Loisiga. Good pitcher, but I'd much rather have CeCe and his experience, and somebody who's been there before, and even if you're just having him face one lefty batter.
Yeah, well,
which by the way is called a loogie, in case you don't know.
I did not know that.
Left-handed, one-out guy. That's basically what a loogie is.
Okay.
But that, I'd much rather have him. You remember like when David Cohn was pretty much near the end with the Yankees in 2001, but he came on and he got Piazza on that one at bat.
2000.
Was 2000? Yeah, 2000. That's right, 2000 because they didn't make it in 2001. But that Coney was done at that point. He wasn't David Cohn. Capital letters. And
right.
Here's my heater. Try to hit it. He was David Cohn. I'm throwing 84, and I got to use my brain to get you out, and I'm going to do it anyway.
Yes.
And then he got Piazza to pop up or fly out, whatever. But that's CeCe now. CeCe's not going to blow anybody away, but he's smart enough, and he's become enough of a pitcher and he's been in enough situations where if it comes down to it and it's a situation and Boone says, look, I need to get one guy out and let me see what do I have in my bullpen, I have no qualms with him going to CeCe because at least I know the moment won't be too big for CeCe.
No, I don't think. I think if he actually were to start, which if he would, it's 4 innings at the most.
No, he's not going to start.
Oh,
he'll come in the bullpen.
Okay.
There's no
That'll be
chance
2
that
innings.
he's going to start.
2 innings.
No, one.
Really?
One, or maybe even just a batter or 2. I mean, his role in assuming that the Yankees get to the ALDS or CS, I'm sorry, his role will be very limited because he's just not that pitcher anymore. And he's got now, I mean, he's dealing with the knee. The knee is a chronic thing. We've talked about the knee in the past, but now he's dealing with a shoulder.
Shot, he's okay, and then
well,
3
it
months
takes
later.
a little while for a little rehab. But now he's got the shoulder. The shoulder had a cortisone shot, so it doesn't sound like much like cortisone shot. It's like everybody thought, oh, it's just a cortisone shot. It's a major thing, cortisone shot.
Of course it is.
So it takes a few days just to recover from the shot and get your range of motion back and everything else. But again, if CeCe, assuming the Yankees get to the ALCS, I think number one, I think CeCe would be part of the roster. Number two, I think if he's used, I think that he would be used in a pretty limited capacity.
I think you're right. I think he is there, and I don't think he's there for pitching. I think he's there for clubhouse leadership.
Well, I mean, he's still on the bench right now. I mean, I'm sure you saw him. He was in uniform, but here's the kicker for me. He can be on the bench. He can be in uniform. He's not allowed to go on the field. So that means if there's a brawl,
he has to stay.
CeCe's got to stay in the dugout.
Yeah.
Which means if there's a brawl, one of the Yankee coaches better slap a pair of handcuffs on him and chain him to the barricade in front of the dugout, because he'll be the first guy running on the field. Well, that's how CeCe is. He's an emotional guy. He protects his teammates. He's a good teammate. But I don't know what happens if he goes on the field, if there's an issue. I mean, does he get suspended longer than everybody else because technically he's not supposed to be there? I don't know. But like I said, somebody, if something happens during the game where all of a sudden now we're exchanging brushbacks and beanballs and whatever, then if I'm Booney, before anything really gets going, I'm telling CeCe, go to the clubhouse.
Well, I'm sure they've talked to him.
Well, and I'm sure he knows. He's a veteran guy. But
yeah.
But again, the Yankees for this series, they've brought their bats, and the Twins just haven't hit. And that has been the hallmark of these Twins teams. And we talked about it last week, where we said the team that is able to limit the other team is going to be the team that wins. And I told you last week, I was confident in the Yankees bullpen to do that. I wasn't as confident in the starters. But you know what? Paxton, he didn't give them a great start, but he gave them what they needed. 4 or 5 innings. Tanaka was outstanding for 5 innings. That's all the Yankees need out of their starters. Can they maybe push him 6? Sure they can. But they have so much depth and so much ability in the bullpen, there's no need to. You know, 2 days ago, Garrett Cole struck out 15 for the Astros against the Rays. He went 7 2/3. Yesterday, Adam Wainwright went 7 2/3 or 8 innings or whatever for the Cardinals. Great outings. But that's not what the Yankees are going to ask their starters to do, because they have depth and power and talent in the bullpen. And to not use that bullpen, it goes against what the Yankees have been doing all season.
Which is
this is their plan,
right? Which is the opposite of the Mets. When they
pretty much.
I mean, you didn't want to go to their bullpen.
It's the opposite of the Nationals too. Look at the Nationals last night. They were leading the Dodgers, and then their bullpen gave up like 9 runs in the last 3 innings or something. Crazy numbers. And Patrick Corbin was one of the guys they brought in. He's like high price starter. Dave Martinez for the Nationals apparently has decided he's going to do what the Red Sox did last year in terms of just putting starters out on the mound for relief pitching as opposed to his bullpen, because he doesn't trust his bullpen, which this bullpen has given him no reason to have him trust them. So, but when Patrick Corbin comes in and gets shelled like he did, then your plan needs tweaking.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens tonight, brother. I've been very impressed. Also with Aaron Judge, which is obviously it's hard not to ever be impressed with Aaron Judge. But Aaron Judge is batting .500 in the series. His on-base percentage is .700, which means he's also taking walks.
Right.
He made, I'm sure you saw the replays of the 2 catches that he made in Game 1.
Incredible.
Here's the conversation I was having with my boy Buscema. You look at Giancarlo Stanton in Game 1. They're basically the same size kind of guys. Stanton plods. He is not graceful. He's not an athlete in the sense that an athlete is fluid. He has a natural grace in his motion.
Okay.
That's what an athlete is. Stanton is not that guy. Aaron Judge, on the other hand, makes diving catches. He made a catch, the first one where he came in and he dove. I forget who it was, but it was in the third inning, I think. Great play. But the second catch he made, it was in the sixth or seventh inning. Unbelievable play. Stole a double. The game was still in doubt at that point. The Yankees, and I think it was the next inning when LeMahieu and Gardner hit the 2 home runs and really kind of started opening the game up. But this is a guy who plays both sides of the ball. Aaron Judge is a Gold Glove right fielder. And Joel Sherman wrote this. Joel Sherman always seems to write what I have conversations about. I seriously think he's got my apartment bugged or something. I'm
sure he does.
But
sure he came over one day with his super.
He wrote it today that basically, the overlooked things about Judge, and one of them was a base running thing that he also did. He took an extra base when the score was 8-0. He does that. He knows how to play the game. He plays the game the right way. He's not taking plays off, or he's not just kind of lollygagging through the game because the Yankees have an 8-0 lead.
One thing I think, and maybe you're wrong, he doesn't watch the homers all the time either.
No, he's not.
He
knows they're gone. He doesn't need to watch them.
Well, he's not Robinson Cano.
Well, because he hustles.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about the guy, because he's not taking plays off. He's not going to coast through games. Like I said, 8-0 the Yankees were leading. He's still taking that extra base. He doesn't have to do it. He could cruise into second. Second's fine. We're good. No, I'm going to third. And the reason is the same thing we were just talking about. The Twins have that kind of offense.
Right.
Couple hits, boom, boom, and all of a sudden now it's 8-5. And now you're sitting there thinking, well, geez, I should have taken that base. Maybe we could have gotten another run, and now it'll be a 4-run lead instead of a 3-run lead. So,
but that's what you want out of a play. You want, that's what baseball's all about.
Oh.
It's turned into home runs, or nothing. And Bill Madden's been writing a lot about that.
Yes, he has
in the Daily News. And it's true. If it's not a home run, people seem disappointed. I would love to see some sort of, hit and run plays again. You don't see that a lot.
Not as much.
Yeah.
I just two things. I checked last week because I wanted to see. I was actually doing some rotisserie baseball research, and this is just National League stats. 9 players in the National League this season hit 300 or better. All right. Something like 40-something guys hit more than 30 home runs. And I pushed it down to 20 home runs. It was like 80. So home runs are nothing at this point.
No.
But actual hitting, that's important.
Well,
and you need guys who can do that. And there aren't a lot of them.
As you said, 3 individual home runs from the Twins instead of maybe someone was on first and second. Then you get a home run.
Right.
That type of thing.
Solo home runs don't put pressure on pitchers. They just don't. An inning where you're stringing hits together, where you're getting a couple of walks, where the pitcher's throwing a lot of pitches, that's an inning that really damages a pitcher. And that's what the Yankees did in Game 1.
You know who was good at hitting homers that no one was on? Darryl Strawberry.
Dave Kingman, too.
Dave Kingman was
the master of 25 home runs and 42 RBIs. Unbelievable. All he hit was solo home runs.
I think he hit more than 25.
Well, I'm just saying, like, as a stat.
Yeah. Quickly, brother, Dodgers are leading the Nationals 2-1.
I said, 9 runs against the Nationals bullpen yesterday.
Incredible.
Horrible.
Yep.
You got Max Scherzer starting the game, a National League Cy Young contender, and a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, I believe. But if your bullpen is that bad, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
You got one of the best starters in baseball starting your game. Well, you know what? He's not going to pitch 9 innings because these are all pressure-filled innings. But if you have that kind of garbage in the bullpen that can't get it done, oh well. You better score a lot of runs, and you're not going to do that against Clayton Kershaw.
Braves are leading the Cardinals 2-1.
Magical by the Braves yesterday. Like I said, Wainwright deep into the game, pitched outstanding. Mike Soroka, the Braves rookie, pitched outstanding. Both of them. It was 1-0 after 8 innings. The Braves scored 3 in the 9th off of Carlos Martinez, the kind of new Cardinals closer. Okay. So big hit by Dansby Swanson for 2 runs.
And the Astros lead the Rays, not the Devil Rays, the Rays. 2-0. we assume we shouldn't assume, but we assume it's Astros-Yankees.
Zach Greinke going in Game 3 for the Astros against Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton gives the Rays a chance, but that's it. Hey, let's put it this way: even if the Rays win tonight, you still got Cole and Verlander waiting.
Right.
I think the Astros will win one of those games.
I'm not sure where the games are, but this is where you look for them, folks.
Well, the next
Fox Sports 1.
FS1 is where the Yankees are tonight. So
right.
that's all we need to know.
Then Major League Baseball Network, and then TBS and ESPN. I think
I don't know that ESPN is doing, but TBS yes,
is having it. So.
And the other one, MLB Network.
Yeah. So find those on your thing beforehand, and maybe just remind yourself because. Again,
it's frustrating.
You
you
don't think of Fox Sports 1. I'm sorry.
Well, I kind of do. I wasn't thinking about MLB Network because I was trying to find the Yankee game on Friday and was all kinds of frustrated. I was like, where the hell is this? And for me, on my cable system, MLB Network is channel 306. So I'm going through every channel one by one because I'm like, where's the damn game?
That's the problem.
And
too many. I know they make more money, but man, it's tough to find it, and that actually does not help watching the game.
I saw in the paper today. I don't know if they had it in Daily News, but in the Post, they have a full page ad for FS1.
Really?
Yeah. So that's that. Here it is.
Let me see.
Also,
show it to the camera.
So show it
Look
to the Facebook Live. So you can't miss it.
It says FS1.
FS1.
Which here in Altice Land is channel 69. Wow. Not the S network, it's the channel before it. So. Anyway, we're going to take a break right now. We'll have JP Pelzman talking about the Jets right after this break. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College.
All hit music. For all those songs radio has forgotten about. Join me, Big Ed, Mondays from 10 a.m. till noon for The Good Gold Show. We'll bring back all the great hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and more. The sounds of doo-wop to disco, all the Motown, soul, and great rock and roll. We'll even take your requests and dedications to The Good Gold Show.
Music.
On the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
Shake off the realities of the day, broaden your musical horizons, and embrace the diversity every Monday afternoon at 5 for 2 hours of Revelations. The show offers a potently unique collection of music with an emphasis on themes and rock rarities, an occasional tour de force of blues and soul, mixed with compelling sets of folk and folk rock. I'm Steve Kay, and I've got the perfect soundtrack for your drive home every Monday afternoon at 5. On Revelations, right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Come on, everybody. Let's sing along with Bruce.
Join me, Kim Tracy, for the music of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band on Thunder Road, Sundays at 1 p.m. on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and on the iHeartRadio app.
Nassau Community College is here to support your goal to obtain a degree or certificate or enhance your skills to advance your career.
Several programs are offered at a convenient time on the weekend where you can attend classes Friday evening through Sunday.
In addition, you can complement face-to-face classes with distance education courses which can be taken online.
More information about the programs and courses that are offered on the weekend can be found by contacting the Office of Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning at 516-572-3554 or email weekendcollege@ncc.edu.
Welcome back to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. And how you doing? You want to hear something funny, brother?
Go for it, brother.
On Saturday, I was hanging out with Sister, and we were driving by the Coliseum.
Oofa.
So it was an activity at the Coliseum. So Suzanne, we don't know what it is, and Suzanne says, "Oh, let me look it up." She has her handheld. She loves her computer.
Mm-hmm.
And so she goes, "Oh, the Islanders are playing here tonight." I go, "No, they're not. They played last night." She goes, "What day is today?" She goes, "I go the 5th." She goes, "Ooh, Hugh Jackman's here. Let's go." And I'm like, "No."
You know who was there? My friend Marianne Mustachio.
Oh, there was a lot of women there.
She went there with Ro. Ro's her mom, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the moms love Hugh Jackman, and he's Wolverine, he's all over the place. So
they love him. He's a
Suzanne's
performer.
already preparing to go see him on Broadway. He's going to be He's going to be the Music Man, and Sutton Foster, who I love, is going to be Marion the Librarian.
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
She's from Younger.
Yeah, that
you never saw
help.
Younger? Oh, she's. I'd love her. Even though I didn't start the show, I didn't start watching the show because Debbie Mazur's on it. So.
Oh, Younger is a show? See,
Yeah, it's a
I
TV
thought it
show.
was a movie.
Oh, no. Anyway, joining us on the phone, we've had him on several times, brother. He might be leading the pack in appearances on this radio show.
I'm pretty sure he is.
JP
I'd have to go back and count.
Pelzman is our guest for right now, and he writes for Forbes.com, and his penance is to write about the Jets. But it also gives him a salary, so he's not complaining. We're just having some fun with him. Welcome back, JP. How you doing, man?
Hey, Rob, Tim, great to talk to you guys. I heard that music bed at the start. I liked it. Is that like a subliminal thing that if Darnold doesn't work out, the Jets will be in position to draft Tua?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how we planned it, JP. We were thinking, okay, how can we make something really obscure come out? And you caught it right away. Thank you.
And another thing, and then I'll let you guys go.
Let it go. You just started
you guys. But I know you're not a Delaware, Maryland, Virginia-based show, but I see Jay Gruden was fired. Jet fans would like to tell Dan Snyder they have just the guy for him as head coach, and they won't even want a draft pick in return.
Exactly. The guy who's already ruined 2 franchises.
Exactly.
And he's still a very young man.
Who's that?
Gase.
Oh, Gase. Oh, okay. I'm just checking. You want to make sure. You want to make sure you have the. You don't want the assumption. You want the actual name set out there. So
it is true. That's the 5 W's of journalism.
That's right. So
but
what's going on with the Jets? It's not just because Sam Darnold has mononucleosis. There's something else going on here.
I just think that, guys, I wrote about this a week or so ago. The big problem is, and we saw it with the Jets, actually, as a franchise, even though it's the guys that left or were dismissed. Notice how when both Eric Mangini and Rex Ryan were fired, they both caught on right away with a new head coach job, and they both thought, even though they're very different personalities, obviously, okay, well, I just got hired right away. I don't have to change a thing. Adam Gase is the same way, guys. It's like, Miami fired me. I yelled at my owner and got canned. But you know what? The Jets hired me right away because of Peyton Manning. You know what? Let me just do everything the way I did at Miami, even though none of that is proven to work.
Right now, Adam Gase is the coaching equivalent of trickle-down economics. Because he clearly has destroyed the Dolphins. Look at how bad the Dolphins are. And I'm not going to put everything on him for that, but look what he left them. And now, look at the Jets. I mean, I got to ask you, JP, how have things fallen apart for the Jets so quickly? I got to know that first.
Well, part of it is the injuries. I'll give him that much. They have had a lot of injuries. But as, again, Rex Ryan used to say, the NFL has a 100% injury rate, which he's right about. I mean, even if you're not on the injury list, you're certainly banged up. I mean, first of all, part of it, I'll say, is not Gase's fault. Part of it is the mess he was left. Although, just really quickly, Tim,
True.
You're exactly right, because remember, in Miami, Gase had final say on personnel.
Right.
So he had a lot to do with wrecking that roster.
Exactly.
Well, the guy who had final say before Gase was, in New York, of course, was Mike McCagnon. We all know that.
Yes.
And, and the biggest problem was not only so much of his high-priced whiffs like Trumaine Johnson, good Lord,
Yes.
$72 million cornerback.
Big whiff.
But there's no depth. So guys get hurt, and you really don't have guys behind them. But that said, I don't know. I mean, Gase, guys like we've talked about, he comes with this reputation as offensive guru. Well, again, for the 1,000th time, any of us could be an offensive guru if we have Peyton Manning, still in his prime taking snaps. I mean, I don't see any of this guru-ness on Sundays.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be the guy who was going to develop Sam Darnold. Now, obviously, that hasn't been able to happen because Darnold has had the mononucleosis, and from what he said, had it before Game 1 and hasn't played since then. So, we're in a position now, though, with 0-4, where I think they have to just give him as much time as he needs to get fully healthy because the season's going nowhere.
Well, yeah, and again, I know you talked about it earlier, at a different time on this program, Tim. Obviously we knew we know each other from Hofstra. I know you had it back then, and one thing and anyone, I've never had it, but I know that talking to people who've had it is it's not just the spleen getting down to normal, it's getting your strength back, it's getting your energy back.
Right.
I mean, and we're talking about for most, high school or college kids, the energy to go back to class. This is the energy to run from 300-pound linemen and 275-pound linebackers. I mean, I agree with you. To me, it's not. And right now, it's not fair to say, "Oh, Sam, just save the season," because he's not yet Tom Brady. I mean, I agree. But again, it gets back to the point. Sorry to ramble, but Gase gives Luke Falk all the practice reps on Friday, but he gives them to Sam the first team snaps the 2 days before that. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Falk is not very good. He's looked like a deer in the headlights. But come on, give the guy a fair chance.
Yeah, I mean, if you. Unless you're planning on making a change, then Luke Falk should be taking those first-team snaps.
No, I agree.
Plain and simple.
And why would you have Darnold doing first-team stuff when he really should be doing, third-team stuff? Just to get
back. That's exactly right, Rob. He should have been working with the scout team.
Yeah.
And my thing was, and I wrote this twice, was, you know what? Once you found out on last Monday, it was a week ago today, they found out, hey, his spleen still is enlarged. You know what? At that point, you can't count on him for Sunday. You have to pivot right then to Luke Falk or whomever. You can't keep up this charade until Friday. That's not fair to Sam. It's not fair to Falk. It's not fair to anybody. And it's certainly not fair to the other 10 players on offense.
Well, I mean, because if they test him and his spleen is still enlarged on Monday, it's not magically going to go to normal size in 2 or 3 days. So I don't know what Gase was thinking with any of those decisions. But as soon as that test was done, he, like you said, he needs to pivot and say, all right, Luke's starting on Sunday, and we'll see what's going on with Darnold next Monday. And that's our next step. I don't understand what was so difficult about that or why anything deviated from that kind of setup. That's what the test showed. There's no miracle. Right. There's no miracle happening. And I can tell. I said this a couple weeks ago. When I had mono, it was apparently I had a mild case, but a couple of times a day, I would get these crippling bouts of exhaustion, where no matter what I was doing, I would just have to sit down. Otherwise, I would have fallen down.
Wow! And
you don't know when they're going to happen. So if that happens to Darnold during a game, what's he supposed to do? You can't just tough it out. If you're on the field or if you're about to go into the game, and you just can't, because now you're putting yourself in jeopardy. Because if you go out there and you're not feeling 100% and you don't have the energy you normally would have, hey, you know what? If a 300-pound guy starts chasing you, adrenaline is going to step in. But if your energy level isn't there to begin with, that 300-pound guy is going to destroy you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're talking about this, Tim, because I think that's the thing. People have just focused so much on the spleen, and I get it. That's the biggest thing, because that's the real danger of dying.
Right.
Like Chris Sims almost did. And he didn't even he didn't even have an enlarged spleen before he got hit in it.
No, he got laid out.
But he got laid out in it, but that's the thing people are ignoring. I mean, from the shots they showed of Sam on the sidelines yesterday, Darnold didn't look. I mean, he keeps saying, "Oh, I'm eating more and I'm doing this." He looked, I'm not saying emaciated, but he looked thinner. You know what I mean? Yeah. He looked kind of wan, maybe would be the, WAN would be the word. He just didn't look like himself yet. And you're right. That's the thing. Forget about the spleen. Obviously, that's the most important thing. But you also have to be yourself, physically and stamina-wise, and that takes time.
Yeah, because otherwise he's not going to be able to perform up to the level that you expect. And if that's going to be the case, then he's going to be Luke Falk. And what's the point? You might as well leave Luke Falk in the game.
Yeah, well, to answer your first question, Tim, I think the thing is with Gase, and you just get the feeling he feels like sometimes like a kid who's like, I want the chicken tenders right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to wait. You know what I mean? Hey, I want the GM out of here, and he got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he's like a kid who's like, I don't want to wait. Just give me what I want right now. Well, you know what? The doctors, thankfully the doctors did the right thing and stepped in and said, no, you can't have Sam Darnold right now.
It's like the Progressive commercial. You're not my dad.
But I don't know where they go from here, guys. I mean, they're 0-4. I don't see any miracle comeback, especially with the Cowboys who are upset about losing to Green Bay at home.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'll have that New England defense again.
Which I tell you what, the Patriots are a little banged up, but they still have more than enough to beat the Jets. So
yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, Philly's secondary was cobbled together with masking tape yesterday. They've had
guys off the
a lot
street.
Of injuries, guys off the street, injuries and everything. I mean, and you can't even. I mean, again, it didn't help that Falk only had one day of practice with the starters guys, but there were open guys, and he just was checking it down, or else he was just holding the ball too long. I mean. And I don't even know what happened on that pick six. He play fake to nobody.
Yeah, and then there was the play where the linebacker or the DB, whatever it was, just ripped the ball.
Who the Jets actually should have signed when they
exactly. But he just ripped the ball out of Falk's hands and took it back for a touchdown. And I look at the score, and 31-6 is obviously not good, but two of those touchdowns were the offense's fault. So the defense actually played a pretty decent game yesterday.
Yeah, Philly's offense played like garbage, guys.
Yeah, they did.
And the Jets still lost by 25. That's ridiculous.
And especially coming off a bye week.
Correct.
25-point loss after a bye week. Are you kidding me? To me, that's the biggest indictment of the coach.
How about the first two plays out of the gate? You've got 2 weeks to prepare. You know how every offensive coach loves to, since the days of Bill Walsh, they love to script that first drive.
Right.
First 2 plays, Le'Veon Bell off tackle. Boy, nobody was looking for that. How about throwing that end around when the game still mattered instead of just using it to get yourself on the scoreboard when the game was decided?
Right.
Hey, JP, is there? I assume Darnold's going to be out another 4 weeks. I'm extending maybe what other people are saying, but
I don't know if it'll be that long. But I would say at least 2 or 3.
At this point, 4 weeks, you want to save your guy for next year because this isn't going to be a season that's going to be saved. Had there been any other talk or whispers of maybe getting another quarterback? Colin Kaepernick's just sitting around doing nothing, or anyone else. Is there anyone else that maybe
not really? I mean, I think they're still putting their eggs in the Darnold basket, and despite what Tim said, and I agree with him, I think as soon as the doctors say the spleen is normal size and he's ready to roll, that's who Gase will run out there. Because let's face it, now Gase knows he's already. I don't think the Johnsons would fire him, with all the money he's owed. But you know what? The only way Gase can make himself look good this season now, guys, is to develop Darnold, because that's the only thing on the plate now. Because obviously the playoffs are a dim memory at best.
Yeah,
no, that's a good point.
Well, here's a couple things, just general questions overall, JP. What do you see as the Jets' most desperate need at this point? Are we looking wide receiver, O-line, defense?
O-line. I think,
okay, that's what I thought.
I think Joe Douglas shares in this because, I don't know why he brought in – I know why, but to me, this kind of flew under the radar. But when he signed Jonathan Harrison was the guy who was already there. Right. When he signed Ryan Khalil, I'm like, hey – I didn't see the problem. You know what I mean? I think it was like, hey, let's make a splashy move. Let's get the veteran center because we think we're ready to win right now. Coax him out of retirement. But guess what? The ripple effect that had is the communication is horrible. On opening day, guys, there was a play, and this just hasn't started with, Luke Falk or whatever. There was a play on opening day where the Bills brought 4. The Jets had 7 to protect, and Darnold got sacked. How's that possible?
Yeah.
It's because there's no communication. Because if you take screen grabs, guys, of a lot of the sacks, you'll see like 2 guys blocking one guy, another guy blocking nobody, and there's, as they call it, a free runner, with an easy shot at the quarterback.
Right.
Because there's no communication. So that, to me, I don't know how you could fix that, but the communication of the O-line is important. Their lineup shuffling yesterday didn't help. I mean, the third-round pick they started instead of Brandon Shell wasn't really an improvement. Yeah, I don't know how you fix the O-line because, let's face it, it's broken right now.
The O-line it's a very tough thing to fix during the season.
Exactly,
because usually you need to replace talent to fix an O-line.
Plus, other than the secondary, there's no other unit on a football team that depends more on constant work together.
Right.
Because everybody has to work in tandem. If one guy screws up, they all screw up.
Right.
And,
exactly.
And like you said, so it's you can fix wide receivers. You can maybe bring in a guy. Or you can't. It's hard to fix, like you said, Tim. O-line in the middle of the year. It's just a very difficult fix.
Exactly. Another question, just in terms of Jets. I personally think they need a marquee receiver. Would you agree with that? First of all,
it's starting to look like that. I'm not a believer, and you've got to have. I'm not a believer in receivers make the quarterback better, because look at how many receivers Tom Brady has made better over the years. I think it works the other way. But
okay.
You know what? At this point, they do. I think they need, and who knows? Maybe this guy that they signed off the Texas practice squad, the guy who actually had that touchdown yesterday on the end around Vincent Smith.
Right.
They need a guy like him, a tall receiver who can win 50-50 balls. You know what? Demaryius Thomas used to be that guy, but let's face it, it's not 2013 anymore.
Right, exactly.
If I were them, you know what I would do? Seriously? I'm not kidding. After they play the Patriots again, you know what? The Patriots could use a receiver, trade him back, and get the draft pick back.
Like a rental fee.
Yeah, let's face it. That was the problem with that whole thing in the first place, guys, and I'm sure you discussed it. You know what? When Bill Belichick makes a trade within the division, he's probably not doing it to benefit you,
Yeah, exactly. He's doing it because he wants to get something back for a guy who's about to cut.
Exactly. And it just showed how, he trades them like a couple weeks before they're going to play them. So he's like, I don't even care if you know my playbook. You're not going to win anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It was when I saw that trade was made, it was like, that's a really arrogant move he just made.
That's a very good way to say it, Tim, because it's just like saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to beat you no matter what. So here, you want to get all the information out of this guy you want, go ahead. It won't help.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. Now, another question here. If the Jets have a top 3 pick, and I think we're all assuming at this point that they probably will, what do they do with it? Because now you're looking at Tua and Justin Herbert being the top 2 picks. So
that's why you have to really decide. I'm serious. And who thought they would be in this position? You have to decide. Is Darnold your guy? You really have to kind of decide that because, But if they've decided that he's their guy, to me, again, I haven't looked at the draft board lately, I'll be honest, but beyond the quarterbacks. But you know what? You just mentioned it, Tim. I'd get a left tackle.
Yeah,
you got to start there. You got to protect the blind side.
I think they have to stick with Darnold. First of all, I think to me that's a no-brainer. I still think this kid can play. I think they just need to put some pieces around him to allow him to become the quarterback that he should be. But I think the other thing is, personally, if I'm the Jets and especially if I have a top 2 pick, I'm trading that. I'm getting as much as I can for it. But I also want to try and stay as high in the draft as I can because, like you said, you draft the best left tackle you can get, and you got to try and start rebuilding that O-line.
Yeah, to me, that is the premium position, left tackle, obviously with a right-handed quarterback. And
right.
I just feel like you got to start there because right now, Kelvin Beachum he's playing hard, but he's kind of showing his age. Myles Garrett could beat anyone, but he got obviously beaten like a drum in that game, and he wasn't very good yesterday. So, yeah, and listen, I think Darnold is going to be good, but I just feel like I think a big problem, guys, was the Jets and their social media and everything. They were pumping this guy up before the season like he was already Tom Brady, and that wasn't fair to him.
That's true.
Like let him develop at his own pace. Let's let it happen.
But they also, they have nothing to promote, really.
Well,
I think
true, Rob.
That's
and
part
that's
of it.
why. No, I think you hit it there, Rob. That's why I think they've wanted to, and obviously they listen to the doctors, but they want to rush Darnold back because they feel like that's the only thing that's going to give the fan base any hope.
Well, I got a question for you. This is a little tangent, but a couple of weeks ago, the Jets named their all, Jet team, and Namath is still the quarterback to beat. 50 years later. What I was wondering, did you think anyone was missed? Timmy and I both thought Matt Snell should have been there, but did you think anyone else might have been missed or should have been on there or didn't belong on there?
No, I think I agree with you guys. I think Matt Snell was the guy that should have been there. It's sad. The one thing I would say of covering the Jets for a lot of years, it's sad that if you could have, if I honestly think if Chad Pennington had a rocket arm, this guy would have been an all-timer. Because he was so good at reading defenses. And, like, when he would throw a dumb pick and it didn't happen often, it was a shocker because you're like, wait a minute, he didn't see that guy? I mean, he could process like Brady, but he just never had that arm. And that to me is, I don't know why, I know it's a bit of a tangent, but that to me is the saddest thing. Is to me, he could have been the guy that supplanted Namath on that team, but he just, he wasn't blessed with the physical tools.
Okay.
He had the brains. He did.
The mind.
I mean,
he really did.
He didn't have the size on the arm.
Yeah, he understood the game so well, but it's just sad because, of course, he did get the last laugh that one year when they got rid of him because of Favre, and then he led the Dolphins to the playoffs.
Yeah, good for him. By the way, JP, we know you're a big fan of Rutgers football and covering it. And in parts
he covers it. I don't know if he's a fan
of it.
Well,
I'm saying, you've covered Rutgers football. They just got rid of their coach and a huge contract they have to pay him off.
Another one.
That's pretty bad for this Rutgers team.
Well, I wrote that
college.
To me, the only guy they should go after is Greg Schiano. Although I hear he's got a lot. What a shock! He's got a list of demands. But
what he wants to see? He wants his old house back, or did he actually give it up? I don't even know.
That's a great question. But
wow.
But who else are the boosters? Are the boosters going to pony up? I know you guys, let's face it, I know it's not a college football area, so I appreciate you asking me about that. But are the boosters going to pony up for Butch Jones, somebody who's already failed at a Power 5 school?
No.
And I think the other interesting thing, and this is especially being on a college campus there, this thing with the redshirt rule, it's really interesting now. That guys now can, if you play 4 or fewer games, you can preserve your eligibility for that year. So guys are just using it, like the quarterback at the University of Houston, De'Aaron King. We're 1-3. Okay, I'm redshirting. I think that's something that we're going to see a lot of, and I don't think the NCAA can put the genie back in the bottle with all the stuff that's going on, like the pay-to-play thing in California.
Well, the pay-to-play thing is going to be, I think, picked up in a lot of other states now.
Agreed.
Mind you, the NCAA is flipping out, but it's not about paying the players directly from the schools. It's about, hey, I have an image. I'm protecting my image.
Yeah, it's a player's brand.
Yeah, it's a player's brand for like NCAA football or something, or the video games.
Video games, shirt sales,
or shirt sales, or just like, you want to make an ad for a car dealership or something.
Yeah, and you know what? And I have no problem with it because you know what? That's, like you said, that's not being, paid, to play per se.
Right.
But what it is you're saying, hey, this is, I have this value as a marketing entity. You know what I mean? That no offense, maybe somebody, who plays, men's soccer or women's volleyball doesn't have.
Right. And
why shouldn't I be allowed to, it's capitalism, isn't it? Last time I checked.
And they should be able to, who's the guy, the guy from Maryland who never got drafted? Charlie Wakasaki is what was
Wysocki?
Yeah.
No, he was drafted. He played for the Tennessee Titans for a bunch of years. Yeah.
Who's the guy who didn't get drafted? It was a few years ago. He was really decent in college, and then he didn't get drafted or something. I forgot who it was, but in college he could have probably made some money. Car dealerships, exactly. Supermarket openings, whatever.
I mean, it's like Brian Leonard at Rutgers. Perfect guy. He got drafted. He didn't do anything in the NFL, but down at Rutgers, he could have made some coin while he was playing there.
You're right,
and the team was good.
Point. Yeah, and that's a great point. There are a lot of guys that in their communities, their image and their likeness, and like you said, if they were able to do an ad, they could make a lot of coin because in those communities they're revered.
Yeah, there's value there, and I mean we're not talking like huge money, but could Brian Leonard, when he was at Rutgers and leading that team to bowl games, which is rare for Rutgers, but could he have pulled in like $15,000 from a car dealership for making an ad? Yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
Absolutely, he could have.
Yeah, and why not? And that's
and it's not life-changing money, but it certainly would make his life easier.
It'd be legal instead of receiving money from the donors under the table or something.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys because to me this is different than just paying everybody and saying okay, everyone has to be paid. No, this is saying what the market will bear. And again, isn't that what this country was based on?
It's supposed to be.
And plus, how would you pay like a football team? The guy who's number 60 or something on the team, he's sitting on the taxi squad for him.
That's,
he's not going to make the same as the starting quarterback.
That becomes the issue, is how do you determine.
But that's the way it would have to be. And then, like you said, that's really, let's face it, in the world of capitalism, that's huge.
And then what about the women's field hockey team? Are they going to make any money? They don't draw anyone. No, no offense against the field hockey players.
No, but you're right. But I'm just saying that's like, people, sometimes you got to understand what. It's all, again, what is your image or what is your likeness worth? And it's worth more if you're a star football player than you are a star in an Olympic sport. That's just the way of the world.
Yeah, very true.
Well, JP, we want to thank you for joining us. We're talking with JP Pelzman. He works with Forbes.com. He covers the Jets, and he is their beat writer. We'll have you on a few more weeks, and hopefully Sam Darnold will be playing again.
Hopefully the Jets will have a win by then.
It could be the winless bowl in Miami in about a month. So
that might be the next time we have you on, JP.
That's going to be a fun game.
Yeah,
if everyone's stinking the way they're stinking right now.
It's going to be an awful game. It's going to be an awful game that one team is going to win.
Well,
That's
one
what
will have to win.
Maybe it'll be a scoreless tie.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be fun. JP, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks as always.
Oh, by the way, what's if people want to reach you, what's your email address?
No, just where can they read
you? Where can they read you?
It's easy. Twitter.com/JP Pelzman.
You got it, man.
Pelzman. So
take care, man.
You can always find my stuff there.
You got it. Take care.
All right. Thanks, JP.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We'll be back right after this. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College.
A Super Bowl champion, U.S. Congressman, publisher of Long Island Business News, award-winning authors, physical fitness, life coach, and celebrities like Billy Crystal and Eddie Murphy. I had no idea so many awesome people got their start at Nassau Community College.
Located on 225 acres in Garden City, Long Island, Nassau Community College, a member of the State University of New York system, has close to 20,000 students attend the school each year. The college mascot is Leo the Lion, and Lion Tales are his stories of the school's absolute best and brightest who have graduated over the past 50-plus years. Hosted by Aurora Workman, the president of Nassau Community College Alumni Association, and Dr. Linda Nadian, a proud Nassau graduate. Let's catch up together as the Alumni Association of Nassau Community College proudly presents Lion Tales, a Nassau Community College Foundation production. Listen every Monday afternoon at 3:30 on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Big news. Now trending. Holy okay, maybe I'm a bit excited. But the voice of Nassau Community College has been nominated to be the best radio station on Long Island in the Bethpage Long Island Awards. You can help us win the award by choosing to vote once a day, every day at bestoflongisland.com. Find us under Arts and Entertainment and click. Tell your friends and family that we're number one, numero uno, cream of the crop. You get the point. Thanks for voting and listening to 90.3 WHPC.
This program is brought to you by Miller's Ale House, located at 3046 Hempstead Turnpike, across from the Tri-County Flea Market in Levittown. Open for lunch, dinner, and late night, featuring a full bar 7 days a week, where you can watch all your favorite teams while eating their zingers, wings, a cheeseburger, and more. More information is available at millersalehouse.com or by calling the Levittown location at 516-520-7000. Miller's Ale House of Levittown is a proud supporter of the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome back to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Don't forget about the German Hit Parade tonight at 7 p.m. Join Uwe Riggers as he plays the songs and sounds of today and yesterday from many different parts of Germany, plus news of interest to the German-American community. That's the German Hit Parade every Monday tonight at 7 p.m. right here on 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Always good to have JP on talking about the Jets.
Absolutely.
And,
Brother, you should have told me you were going to play some Hawaii 5-0 music today. I would have worn an appropriate Hawaiian shirt.
That's why I played it, so you wouldn't get, I don't know.
I'll wear one next week.
Yeah, and I won't play that next week. Anyway, brother, big weekend for soccer.
Indeed.
MLS. They had their own version of the last game of the season counts, like in Major League Baseball, which I like, where they start every game at 3 o'clock.
Well, yeah, baseball stole that from soccer.
They did? Okay, well, I like it. I thought it was the other way around. But anyway...
But that's why they do it, because actually the English Premier League, as far as I know, was the first one to do it, because on the last day of the season, you don't have any teams being able to scoreboard watch, and everything is happening at the same time.
Right.
So that's what Major League Soccer did,
right?
And that's what baseball has incorporated. first things first, your NYCFC brother is the Eastern Conference champion in Major League Soccer. 64 points for them. They get a bye into the semifinals of the playoffs. So congratulations to NYCFC.
Isn't that a big jump to the semifinals?
The Eastern Conference semifinals. So
okay.
let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Red Bulls lost to Montreal on Sunday, so they dropped to 6th place with 48 points. They will face the Philadelphia Union in the opening round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. That's the Union of the number 3 seed. The winner of that game will face the winner of defending champion Atlanta versus number 7 New England.
All right.
NYCFC will play the winner of Toronto, which is the 4 seed, versus DC United, the 5 seed. That game will be at Yankee Stadium on October 23rd. Now, the reason to break, Brett, because I know you're sitting there thinking, it's like, well, geez, today is October, 6th, I think it is? 7th. And October 23rd for the next game for NYCFC, that's because the international break is this week,
again,
brother.
letting outside interest control
No, that's
our
FIFA,
soccer.
bro. That's FIFA. That's the global, worldwide. Everybody is on international break this week. Nobody's playing soccer. This is the week for national teams to get some work in, and it's the calendar. It just is what it is.
I know, but that's why you have games in the middle of November.
Well, that's it. Like I said, it is what it is. Every league is dealing with the international break this week, so that's how it is. Also, congratulations should go out to Carlos Vela of LAFC. Scored a hat trick in the final game of the season yesterday to give him a league record 34 goals this season. That's a lot of goals.
That's a lot of goals.
So congratulations to him. That's an outstanding season for Mr. Vela. Even better than Zlatan, who thinks he owns LA but does not. And LAFC won the Supporters' Shield with the highest number of points to win the Western Conference. I believe they had 72 points. I'd have to double check that. But the 72 points would be an MLS record by one, beating the Red Bulls from last season. So we're in playoff time for MLS. I know you love it. And I know you're going to complain about it.
I like soccer, you know it. I just, to me, November, you shouldn't have guys running around in shorts playing in cold weather. That's all.
Yeah, but I got news for you, brother. The college tournament for men's soccer goes into December.
Do they play in cold weather?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I covered the coldest I think I was ever in my life was when I covered a college soccer match between Columbia and Adelphi. It was 11 degrees that day.
Okay.
All right? I was so cold that my pen, when I was taking notes, the ink froze. I had to take notes on my tape recorder, and when I played them back later, you could hear how positively freezing I was. And these kids were running around in shorts.
I know.
They had hats on, they had gloves on, and everything else, but they were wearing shorts. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The first game we ever played soccer with Mr. Carrero, snowed.
Snow.
We're running around, and
How old were we? Like 6 or 7?
No, we were like 8.
8.
It was
Yeah.
1972.
You were 8. I was 7.
And it was freezing. We're like running around, and the ground is frozen. We're running in cleats.
Was that at Burner High School?
No, it was at Massapequa High School.
Oh, all right, yeah.
And we're just
Plus
running
in
around.
the snow.
And it's, you can't get any grip on the ground because it's solid.
Yeah, and you're wearing cleats.
Yeah. And we're running
But you
around.
might as well be running around
we
in
weren't
cement.
allowed to wear like sweatpants under the shorts.
Kids. That's like child abuse.
Almost. Mr. Carrero, man. What happened?
Big Ed liked that line.
Mr. Carrero is our best coach.
Mr. Carrero was a great guy, and I'm sure he would have let us wear sweatpants. But the
league wouldn't allow it. I think
the Massapequa Soccer Club. I don't know.
I don't know what they would do now. They'd probably cancel the game.
Probably.
But back then,
under 40 degrees. It's too cold.
So anyway, brother, we have to get going.
Yes, it's time for Big Ed.
Tim, you're on Twitter
at Real Tim Leonard.
I'm Rob Leonard. He's Tim Leonard. We'll see you next Monday talking more sports with From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. Big Ed is in the house. You know what that means. Some great oldies. Do not touch the dial. Take care. We'll see you.
The views expressed on air are not necessarily those of WHPC, its management, or Nassau Community College. Responsible opposing viewpoints will be considered by emailing them to whpc@ncc.edu or by mail at WHPC 1 Education Drive, Garden City, New York 11530. Thanks for listening to the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.